Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are going to learn how to play Gloomhaven's Buttons and Bugs. All right, so I have gone ahead and pretty much set up the scenario, but I will go over briefly how we got here. It's very simple. First thing you're going to want to do is find the scenario you're playing. So this is actually scenario 3. This one's called Into the Walls, or In the Walls. And there's some flavor text here. It tells you, how we got here. But then the most important thing is that it tells you the monsters. So in this case, we only have mice that we're fighting, which is that card right there. And the goal is to defeat all the monsters. So I found my card and these are double-sided too. So I found the one that had the mice on it. If there were more than one listed, you would just pull out multiple of these. And I can see when I flip over the card that there's 1, 2, 3 mice listed. So I pulled out the 1, 2, and 3 health dials. At most, there's never going to be more than 4 total monsters in the game. So there you go. These, unfortunately, if I have one gripe about the game, it is these dials. The colors are way too similar and they are way too hard to turn. I just don't get it. I'm fine with the green, blue, and purple, but why is this not like a nice bright blue? Why is this not a very light green and this a nice bright purple? Anyways, I digress. So we have set up our monsters here based on their health, which is listed here. We can also see that they have Retaliate 1. There's that little symbol, which basically means it's permanent for the game. You're also going to want to pull one of these or this tray out. If you want to play on an easier or more difficult setting, you can cover up this with a easy or hard card. For yourself, you're going to want to pull out something very similar. You can see that one has the monster symbol on it, so we know. And I have replaced my level 1 with a level 2 card because this is a level 2 scenario. You actually level up automatically as the scenarios level up. So if you look here, you can see this is a level 2 scenario. So my health is set right here on 11 health. And I have this flipped over for a reason we'll talk about in a second. So I've set my dial to health, and you're going to put white cubes at the top of these. And we'll discuss how these work here in a minute. You also put a white cube here anywhere. I normally just like to put it in the middle. Then you're going to want to get your hand of 4 cards. Every game, and these are very quick games, so we're actually going to play through most of this scenario here. Every game, you only have 4 cards to play with, but depending on the level, depends on how many cards you can upgrade to your level 2 cards. So you can see here I have 1, 2, 3 level 1 cards and 1 level 2 card, and I'm starting with them all on the A side. That's important because they're double-sided. I chose to upgrade to Freezing Vortex, so here the card I had to put back in the box was Freezing Nova. Freezing Nova upgrades to Freezing Vortex. When I start playing a scenario at level 3, I can then bring in 2 level 2 cards. Scenario or level 4 would be 3 level 2 cards, and scenario level 5 would be all of them swapped out for my level 2 cards. There are no level 3 cards. There's no level 4 cards. They're all just level 1 or level 2. And you can choose between each scenario. It's not like you have to make a decision now and decide, oh, well, I'm going to carry Freezing Vortex with me through the rest of the campaign. No, you can choose, based on your level, which cards you are upgrading at that time. So I'm going to flip over our little spell weaver here. Once you have the card flipped over, you can go ahead and place your people. Your person is always going to start with the little white arrow, and then the cubes represent the monsters. So there's no standees, there's no miniatures for the monsters, the only miniatures are you, and the cubes represent the bad guys. Also on this card, you see a lot of green. Green are obstacles. So remember, we're in the walls, so there's a lot of debris, looks like some bones, rocks, skulls in the way. I cannot walk through them unless I jump or leap, but I can draw a line of sight through them. There's also a purple spider web right there in the middle. Costs 2 movement to move into that space as opposed to 1. And then there's the red bordered traps, which are slime. Anybody that moves into that will take 1 point of damage and then are poisoned. So we've got our little status tokens here, which are pretty much the same size as they were in regular Gloomhaven. We are now ready to go. Oh, sorry, one more thing. As you start defeating scenarios, see, these were the previous scenarios. They have items at the top of the bottom. Now you can always take a however many hands worth of weapons in with you. At this moment, I only have 1, so I need to decide, is it going to be a Venomous Fang or is it going to be a Rose Thorn Knife? I've chosen Venomous Fang for this particular scenario. Also, your items that you can carry is your level or the scenario level divided in half, rounded up. Again with the math, but basically for a level 2 scenario, that means 1 trinket item. And I've chosen Drop of Clean Water. It's going to help me remove the status effects of bleeding that this mouse is probably going to inflict on me. All right, we are set up and ready to go. So the first thing I need to do is choose my 2 cards, just like standard Gloomhaven. So let's look here, and I think what I want to do is I want to get into position, so I'm going to use this for movement, and then for the top card I'm going to use Freezing Vortex, which is this top movement. I'm going to keep my thing at 21. These mice are very fast, so we'll see. Now that I have chosen my initiative, I have that set. I'll put these other 2 cards off to the side, keeping them a side up because that's important. We're going to roll this one little die here. This is a multi-use die, and it's going to determine your attack modifier for the monsters and you, as well as what initiative and what actions they take. So we're going to go ahead and roll this out, and it is a negative, which unfortunately is their super fast one, in my opinion. Their worst one because I don't have any armor, so Pierce doesn't do anything for me. But that's where this cube comes into play. I rolled a negative, so all the rats are going to go at initiative 6. They're going to move 2 movement, hit me for 1, and have retaliate 1 for this turn, but they permanently have retaliate 1. So if I try and get up and do melee on them, they're going to really hurt me. So starting with rat number 1, he's going to move 2, and he's got to go boom, boom. He's got to go around the rocks. He can't go over the rocks, so he's stuck there. This guy is going to spend his 2 movement to move up onto the difficult terrain, and this guy is then going to go boom, boom. So luckily, none of them were close to me. So now let's take a look at, so none of them were able to attack, so we're not doing anything with this board here. Now, for me, I may have a change of plans in what I want to do here. But I think 1, 2, 3, 4. This is tough, because if I get next to this guy, I'll have to, this is a ranged attack. I am freezing the 2 enemies closest to me within 3 hexes. Unfortunately, I could go ahead and poison this guy who's nice and close to me and just use this anyways. Or I could use it for an attack too, but that's melee, and then he's hitting me back. So ideally, what I wanted to do was get to the point where I could trap them on their spots with Immobilize and then get another round in of being able to take them out. I could also use this side as the bottom, which would allow me to pull all enemies within 2. So that's still not getting to the blue guy. Pull him onto that slime, which is unfortunate. But it does give me a shield and a retaliate 1 for the remainder of the game. And then I could use this one on top. 1, 2, 3. It's one of my lost cards, but if you're familiar with the Spellweaver, she gets to bring cards back. So I know I'm spending a really long time on this. Yeah, I think it's just too much to... Yeah. All right, so in order to do this one, I'm going to have to... Well, I'm putting freezing out there. By it just being out in my hand, is if it's either in my hand or out in my active area, it is it counts. But none of these are needing to use up that what's there. So I can actually immobilize this guy and keep him away from me. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually just going to scrap this card. Now, instead of discarding it when it's on its A side, this is important, you flip it over to its B side. So I don't discard this until I've used it on its B side. I put it back in my hand, keeping it B side up, and then we'll just do this one. So I am going to attack the green guy. I'm going to, yeah, I don't need to do anything with it, so he's within 3 hexes. Now this is where this die comes in. This is my attack modifier deck. Depending on what I roll, and the cube is right here, is what my modifier will be. So I'm hitting him for 2, and I get the plus. Perfect. So the plus is +1, so I hit him for 3. He has no shields, and he's not adjacent to me, and he is number 1. So this actually is going to... no, it stays over here. And then these are tricky to turn, 1, 2, 3, but he is down to 6 health. He is also immobilized. And that's the thing. He is immobilized and muddled, which shouldn't do, I'm not too worried about muddled, but we can throw it up there. So you can either put them here, you can put them by there. I like to keep them close when they're moving. Now that I have made an official attack, I'm going to move this down. So now on my second one, I have the option to do my ×2. You can see here right in the middle is when I have the option to miss. So you kind of know what 3 options you have. You can plan accordingly to possibly like try and gain advantage when you're at the ×2, or gain advantage when you're here down at the complete miss. Either way, I have done this one. So I'm going to flip it over to the B side, and it's going to go back to my hand. The mice have already taken all their turn, so we're moving on to the next turn. So I can see that this guy's not going to be able to move. Ideally, if I go slow, these guys can get even closer, and maybe I can, you know, really hit him for something nasty. So let me see what my big... oh, gosh. If I do that, then I don't have those out there. That's the problem. All right, but I think we're going to do Searing Glacier. We're going to go ahead and use up a card. Let's see what the bottom one is we want to use. Yeah. I think we are going to go for it. So I could go either 46, yeah, 46 or 21. I actually want to go last. I want to draw them in. So I'm going to go at 46, keep my cards like this, and then we're going to roll. I'm hoping actually for a minus or a circle here. And we got the circle, so that's good. And that's actually the best one we could have gotten. So number 1 is immobilized. Boom. And he's not going to attack, so he's going to lose that. So boom, those go away. This guy's going to go 1, 2, and then he's stuck. This guy's also going to go 1. He could go 2, 3, or he could go 2, 3. I guess he'll go that way. So unfortunately, he didn't quite make it. I was hoping to get all 3 of them, but I didn't look far enough ahead, but that's fine. So they have all gone. I have kept them from being able to attack me because they're all melee. And now we are going to go. So I'm going to use this one first. Searing Glacier. I'm going to attack for 4. Everybody in this bone shape, and I can set it 2 things away. So I can do green and blue, which I think is what we're going to do here. Yeah, and just try and take some people out. I unfortunately don't have fire, but all that would do is pierce 3. You can see in my hand, I'm not showing any fire on any of these cards. And in my active area, I'm not showing any fire. They both want to use up fire. So, but I'm going to muddle everybody there. So that's good. And then I'm going to lose this card, but that's fine. So we'll start with the green guy, and we'll do, and this is attacking for 4, and I did the 0. So that's plus 0. So the green guy is going to take 4 damage. He'll go down to 2. He is also muddled again. And then we move this. And then this guy is going to take also 0, so plus 0. So number 2 here, blue, is going to take 4. So he's down to 5. And he is also muddled. I think I'm going to move that there because that makes a difference. All right, I have lost this card now. Normally it would have gone into my discard pile, but that X right there means I have lost it, so I'm going to stick it there. And then I can either use 21 as a simply move 2. I can just, you know, flip it over. But I think I am going to try and take out the green one. Yeah, and just go ahead and finish him off. So he is 3 away. He is within 3. So I'm going to go ahead and lose this. I'm attacking for 3. Oh, and I had to move this down. That's key because I could miss. Unfortunately, I have no way of gaining advantage this time. So let's not roll a minus. And we rolled a plus. So we crushed him. Basically, green is out of the game. We can remove his cube. We can remove his dial. I am successful. He doesn't drop anything. There's no looting him. But this card is also now lost. But have no fear. All right, and that's it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and keep playing, but essentially I have explained everything there is to know about how to play the game. If you are successful in a scenario, you basically flip it over, read the little flavor text, and then you gain that card as an item. So you want to keep them separate from the other scenario cards, and you just either clean up or you move on to the next scenario. But that you have essentially learned how to play Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs at this point. All right, fast forward to the end of the scenario here, just so you guys know what happens at this point. You would then flip this card back over, and you would read the little flavor text here. Then it says play scenario 5 Buttons Arena. So no matter whether you played scenario 4 or scenario 3, your next one is scenario 5. This card now becomes yours to use as an item. So I could pair this bottom one here with another hand, or I could simply take in this one here because it's double-handed. I still only get, at least as a level 2, 1 trinket, but let's take a quick look at what scenario 5 would look like, just to have a peek here. Oh, so scenario 5 is also a level 2. So again, you would have 2 hands worth of stuff and 1 item, but that's it. That's how you go forth. You can reallocate your 1 upgraded card at this point. You can change up your items, but scenario 5 is going to tell you the monsters that you're going to place in here. You would obviously stick with the level 2 advancement card here. And if you feel like it's a little too tough, you can change, or too easy, you can change the difficulty here. But other than that, like I said, I have covered everything you need to know as far as the basics are concerned. There is a very in-depth, intricate online rule book for the game that covers everything in detail. They do recommend you reading that after you've played through the first couple scenarios. So I'm going to do the same. But otherwise, hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.